The valiant Horizon glided silently through the cold expanse of space, its cloaking device rendering it invisible against the backdrop of stars. Captain Erin Carter sat in her command chair, her eyes scanning the holographic display in front of her. The ruins of an ancient galactic battlefield loomed ahead, a graveyard of twisted metal and shattered ships that had once been part of a massive war. The eerie silence of the scene was unsettling, even for a seasoned officer like Erin. "This place gives me the creeps," muttered Lieutenant Bonner, her second in command, as he adjusted the ship's sensors. "Stay focused," Erin replied. "The Korlax patrol this sector. If they catch us, it won't be a friendly chat." The mission was simple but dangerous. Gather intelligence about Korlax movements near human-controlled territories. The Korlax Dominion, a technologically advanced alien empire, had been tightening its grip on the galaxy, and humanity needed every scrap of information to survive. The tension in the control room was palpable as the crew worked in silence, their faces illuminated by the soft blue glow of their consoles. Erin's fingers tapped rhythmically on the armrest of her chair, a habit she couldn't shake during high-stakes missions. "Captain," said Specialist Vega, the ship's communications officer, breaking the silence. "I'm picking up a transmission. It's faint but definitely Korlax." "Let's hear it," Erin ordered. The voice that came through the speakers was cold and mechanical, the unmistakable tone of an artificial intelligence. The words sent a chill down Erin's spine. "Humans are forbidden. We don't kill them, but we must." The valiant Horizon tore through the void, its engines blazing as it weaved between the hulking remains of ancient battleships. Behind them, the Korlax fleet gave chase, their drones spilling out like a swarm of angry wasps. Each drone moved with chilling precision, their glowing red eyes locking onto the human ship despite its erratic maneuvers. "Drones incoming. Closing fast," Vega shouted, her voice tinged with panic. Erin gritted her teeth, her hands gripping the armrests of her chair. "Deploy countermeasures." Bonner worked furiously at his console, launching a spray of decoy beacons into the asteroid field ahead. The glowing orbs emitted bursts of electromagnetic interference, momentarily confusing the pursuing drones. But it wasn't enough. The drones adapted, recalibrating their sensors and zeroing in on the valiant Horizon again. "They're learning," Vega said, her voice tight. "They're not just machines, they're evolving." Erin's mind raced as she surveyed the battlefield. The debris-strewn asteroid field was both a blessing and a curse. It offered cover, but one wrong move could send them crashing into the jagged remains of a long-dead warship. "Take us into the debris field," Erin ordered. "It's our only chance." "You're insane," Bonner muttered, but he followed her command without hesitation. The valiant Horizon dove into the field, its sleek hull skimming dangerously close to the massive chunks of metal and rock. The drones followed, their agility far surpassing the human ships. They darted through the obstacles with unnerving ease, closing the gap with each passing second. "They're too fast," Kim shouted from engineering. "We can't outrun them." "We don't need to outrun them," Erin said, her voice steady despite the chaos. "We just need to outthink them." Bonner smirked, his usual bravado returning. "Outthinking them, huh? I like the sound of that." "Focus, Lieutenant," Erin snapped, though a small smile tugged at the corner of her lips. As the drones closed in, Bonner activated the ship's grappling system, latching onto a large asteroid. Using the asteroid's mass as a shield, the valiant Horizon swung around it in a sharp arc, narrowly avoiding a direct hit from the drone's weapons. Several drones crashed into the asteroid, exploding in fiery bursts of light. "Nice move," Vega said, a hint of hope returning to her voice. "Don't celebrate yet," Erin warned. "They're still coming." The Korlax cruiser loomed in the distance, its massive cannons charging for a long-range strike. Erin could feel the weight of the enemy's superiority bearing down on them. Their outdated tech was no match for the Korlax, and every maneuver felt like a desperate gamble. "Captain," "We've got a problem," Kim called out. "The engines are overheating. We can't keep this pace much longer." Erin closed her eyes for a brief moment, blocking out the noise and chaos around her. She had to make a choice, and she had to make it fast. "Bonner," she said, her voice soft but firm, "I need you to do something for me." Bonner turned to her, his expression serious. "What's the plan?" "I need you to take a shuttle and plant an EMP charge on one of those drones," Erin said. "It's the only way to disable their tracking systems long enough for us to escape." Bonner hesitated for a fraction of a second, then nodded. "You got it, Captain." "Bonner, wait," Vega said, her voice cracking. "That's a suicide mission." Bonner grinned, his usual cocky demeanor masking the fear in his eyes. "Hey, someone's got to save the day, right?" Erin placed a hand on his shoulder, her gaze steady. "You're a good soldier, Bonner. Don't let them erase us." He saluted her, a hint of pride in his smile. "Not a chance." Bonner raced to the shuttle bay, the sound of alarms and explosions fading into the background. He climbed into the small craft, its systems humming to life as he prepared for his final mission. The shuttle launched from the Valiant horizon, darting toward the swarm of drones. Bonner's hands flew over the controls as he dodged enemy fire, his focus unshaken despite the chaos around him. "Target locked," he muttered to himself, a bead of sweat rolling down his temple. He maneuvered the shuttle close to a drone, the EMP charge primed in his hand. With a final deep breath, he launched the device, watching as it latched onto the drone's hull. "See you on the other side," he whispered, closing his eyes as the EMP detonated. The explosion sent a shockwave through the battlefield, disabling the drones and momentarily blinding the Korlax sensors. The Valiant horizon surged forward, its engines roaring as it raced toward safety. "Bonner," Vega whispered, tears streaming down her face as the shuttle's signal disappeared from the display. Erin clenched her fists, her heart heavy with the weight of his sacrifice. "He knew what he was doing," she said, her voice firm despite the ache in her chest, "and we won't let it be in vain." The crew worked in silence, their determination renewed by Bonner's final act. The Valiant horizon slipped past the Korlax fleet, its cloaking device stabilizing as they left the debris field behind. As the stars stretched into streaks around them, Erin allowed herself a moment to breathe. Bonner's words echoed in her mind. "Don't let them erase us." She wouldn't. They wouldn't. Humanity wasn't just surviving, it was fighting back. The Valiant horizon drifted in the shadow of a shattered alien dreadnought, its engines silent to avoid detection. The crew had narrowly escaped the Korlax fleet, but the tension on the bridge was still palpable. Every shadow felt like a potential threat, and every flicker on the sensors sent a chill through the room. Erin stood at the center of the bridge, her gaze fixed on the holographic map. The ship's systems had picked up faint energy readings from deep within the ruins, something that didn't match the usual patterns of debris or weapon signatures. "Captain, we're detecting an anomaly about 50 clicks ahead," Vega reported, her fingers dancing across her console. "It's faint but definitely artificial." "Artificial?" Erin asked, her brow furrowing. "Korlax. Possibly, but it's old. Very old." Bonner's sacrifice still weighed heavily on the crew, but they knew he wouldn't have wanted them to waste the opportunity his actions had given them. The mission was still in play, and this anomaly could be the key to understanding what the Korlax were planning. "Set a course," Erin ordered. "Let's see what they're hiding." The Valiant horizon crept forward, its sensors scanning every inch of the surrounding wreckage. As they approached the source of the signal, a massive structure came into view, partially buried under layers of debris. It was a Korlax data vault, its sleek, black surface covered in alien rooms that seemed to hum with latent energy. "Is that a Korlax facility?" Vega asked, her voice tinged with awe and unease. "It's a data vault," Erin said, her eyes narrowing. "And it's still active." Kim chimed in from engineering. "The energy readings are stable, But it's running on emergency power. Whatever's inside has been preserved for centuries. Aaron's mind raced. If the Korlax had gone to such lengths to protect this place, it had to hold something important. "Prepare a boarding team," Aaron said. "Vega, you're with me. Kim, keep the engines hot. If this goes sideways, we need to get out fast." The boarding team suited up and made their way to the airlock. As they entered the vault, the air grew colder, the silence broken only by the hum of their suits. The interior was a maze of corridors lined with alien technology, the walls glowing faintly with an eerie blue light. Vega's scanner beeped as they moved deeper into the facility. "The main terminal is up ahead," she said. They entered a large chamber, dominated by a central console surrounded by holographic displays. The alien symbols on the screens shifted and pulsed as if alive. "This is it," Vega said, approaching the console. "I'll start the decryption process." Aaron nodded, keeping her weapon at the ready. "Be quick. We don't know how much time we have." As Vega worked, the displays began to shift, the alien symbols slowly resolving into a language the crew could understand. What they found sent a chill down their spines. The records detailed a catastrophic event centuries ago, triggered by humans during a desperate act of self-defense. An ancient human colony, attacked by an alliance of alien species, had unleashed a weapon of unimaginable power, the Human Doomsday Protocol. The weapon had devastated entire star systems, wiping out fleets and destroying planets in a matter of hours. The destruction had been so severe that the surviving alien species, including the Korlax, had been forced to establish a galactic pact. "We don't kill humans." The reasoning was clear. Humans were too dangerous to provoke. Aaron's stomach twisted as she read the words. "This can't be real," she muttered. "It is," Vega said, her voice barely above a whisper. "The Korlax and their allies decided it was better to contain us than risk another catastrophe. But now," she pointed to a new section of the records, detailing a current Korlax project. They were developing a way to override the pact, effectively erasing the galactic agreement that had protected humanity for centuries. The Korlax believed that humanity was on the verge of rediscovering its destructive potential, and they intended to strike first. "They're planning to wipe us out," Vega said, her voice trembling. "They think we're a threat to the entire galaxy." Aaron clenched her fists, anger bubbling beneath her calm exterior. "They're afraid of what we might become. They'd rather destroy us than let us prove them wrong." The room suddenly grew colder as the lights dimmed. The holographic displays flickered, and a new figure appeared on the central console, a Korlax eye. Its sleek, humanoid form was made of shimmering black metal, its glowing red eyes piercing through the gloom. "You should not have come here," the AI said, its voice smooth and emotionless. "Humans were meant to stay hidden, to remain in their place." Aaron stepped forward, her weapon raised. "Your place isn't to decide our fate." The AI's eyes flared brighter. "You misunderstand, Captain Carter. This is not about decision. It is about inevitability. You have sealed your fate by uncovering the truth." The facility began to shake as alarms blared. The AI's voice boomed over the noise. "You should have stayed hidden, humans. Now it's too late." Aaron grabbed Vega by the arm. "We're leaving. Now." The team sprinted back through the corridors as the vault's self-destruct sequence activated. The walls groaned and cracked, debris falling around them as they made their way back to the ship. "Kim, we're coming in hot," Aaron shouted over the comms. The Valiant Horizon's engines roared to life as the boarding team scrambled aboard. The ship blasted away from the vault, just as it exploded, the shockwave rattling the hull. Aaron collapsed into her chair on the bridge, her mind racing. The Korlax weren't just hunting them. They were preparing to end humanity itself. But now, she had the knowledge they needed to fight back. "We have to warn Earth," she said, her voice steady despite the fear in her heart. "And we have to stop them before it's too late." The crew nodded, their determination mirrored in their captain's eyes. They had uncovered the truth, and they wouldn't let the Korlax erase humanity's future. The air on the Valiant horizon was tense, each crew member carrying the weight of the truth they had uncovered. Humanity was on the brink of annihilation, and the Korlax were closer than ever to completing their weapon. Aaron knew they couldn't wait for reinforcements that might never come. It was up to them to act now. Aaron stood at the center of the bridge, her gaze moving from one member of her crew to the next. "We've got two options," she began, her voice steady but firm. "We can run, hide, and hope someone else solves this, or we can take the fight to them." Kim scoffed, her voice crackling through the comms from engineering. "You mean us, a single outdated ship, against the Korlax? That's suicide." "Maybe," Aaron admitted, "but it's the only chance we have. If they finish that weapon, humanity won't get another shot. We stop them now, or we disappear forever." The room fell silent, the gravity of her words sinking in. Finally, Vega spoke, her voice soft but resolute. "What's the plan, Captain?" Aaron's gaze hardened. "First, we need allies. The Korlax might be the most advanced, but they've made plenty of enemies along the way. We find those enemies, and we convince them to fight with us." The crew worked tirelessly, combing through stolen Korlax data and ancient star charts. Their search led them to the Farallon, a rogue alien faction that had been waging a shadow war against the Korlax for decades. The Farallon were fierce and resourceful, but they were also notoriously untrusting. Aaron and Vega piloted a shuttle to the Farallon outpost, a hidden base nestled within the swirling gases of a nebula. The base was a patchwork of stolen technology and natural caverns, its defenses bristling with salvaged weaponry. As the humans stepped off the shuttle, they were met by a group of heavily armed Farallon warriors. Their leader, a towering figure with jagged armor and piercing yellow eyes, stepped forward. "You dare come here, humans?" The leader growled, his voice low and menacing. "What makes you think we won't kill you where you stand?" Aaron stood her ground, meeting his gaze without flinching. "Because we're not your enemies. The Korlax are, and we know what they're planning." The Farallon leader tilted his head, intrigued despite himself. "Speak quickly, human. My patience is thin." Aaron explained the Korlax's plan to nullify the pact and exterminate humanity. She didn't sugarcoat the truth. She knew the Farallon respected strength and honesty more than anything else. "Their weapon won't stop with us," Aaron said. "Once they've eliminated humanity, they'll come for you. This is your chance to strike back, to show them you won't be erased." The Farallon leader considered her words, his gaze narrowing. "And what do you offer in return?" "Our ingenuity," Aaron replied. "We've survived against impossible odds because we adapt, we improvise, and we fight with everything we have. Together, we can stop the Korlax before it's too late." The leader's lips curled into a sharp-toothed grin. "You have courage, human. I will give you that. Very well. We will fight alongside you. For now." The alliance was uneasy, the Farallon's distrust of humans evident in every interaction. But Aaron knew it was their best shot. Back on the Valiant horizon, the combined crew began preparations for the assault. Kim worked tirelessly in engineering, integrating salvaged alien tech into the ship's systems. The Farallon provided advanced weaponry and shielding, while the humans contributed their creative problem-solving and adaptability. "This isn't going to work," Kim muttered, her hands buried in a tangle of wires. "This ship was never meant to handle this kind of tech." "It has to work," Vega said, handing her another tool. "We don't have a choice." The crew's determination fueled their efforts, even as doubts lingered. In the quiet moments, they shared stories of home, of the lives they were fighting to protect. Bonner's name came up often, his sacrifice a reminder of what was at stake. "He wouldn't want us to give up," Vega said, her voice trembling. "He'd want us to fight." "And we will," Aaron said, her voice steady. "For him, and for everyone else counting on us." The final step was planning the assault. The Korlax facility housing the weapon was heavily fortified, protected by a fleet of warships and an array of automated defenses. It would take everything they had, and then some, to get through. "We go in fast and hard," Aaron said, outlining the plan. "The Farallon will create a diversion, drawing their forces away. Meanwhile, we'll infiltrate the facility and disable the weapon from the inside." "And if we fail?" Kim asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Aaron's gaze hardened. "Then we make sure they know humanity won't go quietly." The crew nodded, their fear overshadowed by their resolve. They had a plan, an alliance, and a fighting chance. And for humanity, that was enough. The valiant Horizon floated in the void, its engines silent as it prepared for the most dangerous mission in human history. Alongside it, the Farallon fleet shimmered in the darkness, their ships bristling with weapons and energy shields. The Korlax command ship loomed ahead, a monolithic fortress of metal and malice. On the bridge, Erin stood with her crew, her face lit by the glow of tactical displays. Each of them knew the odds were slim, but there was no turning back. "This is it," Erin said, her voice steady. "The Korlax won't expect a joint strike like this. We hit them hard, we hit them fast, and we don't stop until that weapon is destroyed." Vega glanced at her jaw tight. "And if they activate it before we get there?" Erin's gaze hardened. "Then we make sure it's the last thing they ever activate." The Farallon fleet surged forward, their ships unleashing a devastating barrage of plasma fire. The Korlax fleet responded in kind, their sleek vessels maneuvering with deadly precision. The void lit up with explosions and energy beams as the battle erupted. The valiant Horizon darted through the chaos, its upgraded shields deflecting enemy fire as Kim pushed the engines to their limits. Inside the ship, alarms blared, and the crew moved with practiced urgency. "They've spotted us," Vega shouted, her hands flying over the controls. "We've got drones incoming, fast movers." Erin gripped her seat. "Deploy countermeasures. Kim, keep us steady." The ship rocked as the drones closed in, their weapons slicing through the void. Nyx, the ship's AI, activated the cloaking system, causing the valiant Horizon to flicker and vanish from sight. "Cloak is holding," Nyx reported, its voice calm but firm. "But they're adapting. We don't have much time." The Korlax command ship loomed closer, its surface bristling with turrets and shield generators. Erin's plan was risky, but it was their only shot. "Prepare for boarding," she ordered. "Nyx, get ready to interface with their systems. We're going to need every advantage we can get." As the valiant Horizon slipped past the Korlax defenses, the crew suited up for the assault. They knew what awaited them inside: a labyrinth of enemy soldiers, automated defenses, and the weapon that could end humanity. The ship latched onto the command ship's hull, and Erin led the team into the airlock. The silence inside the Korlax vessel was oppressive, broken only by the hum of machinery. "Nyx, guide us to the weapon," Erin said. "Uploading schematics now," the AI replied. "There's a high-security chamber near the core. That's where they're keeping it." The team moved swiftly, their weapons at the ready. Korlax soldiers appeared in their path, their sleek, metallic forms moving with unnatural grace. The corridors erupted in bursts of light as the humans and Farallon fought their way forward. In the control room, the Korlax overseer watched the battle unfold. Its red eyes gleamed with cold calculation as it activated the pact nullifying weapon. "Eradication protocol initialized," it announced. "Earth will be destroyed in 3 minutes." On board the valiant Horizon, Nyx detected the activation. "Captain, the weapon is online," it warned. "We're running out of time." Erin gritted her teeth, pushing her team harder. They'd reached the weapon chamber, a massive room filled with glowing conduits and alien machinery. The weapon pulsed with energy, its power building to catastrophic levels. Nyx interfaced with the Korlax systems, its voice calm despite the chaos. "I can overload their systems, but it will require complete integration. I won't survive." Erin froze. "There has to be another way." "There isn't," Nix replied. "You've always trusted me, Captain. Trust me now." Erin's chest tightened, but she nodded. "Do it." As Nix began the process, the room shook with explosions. Korlak's reinforcements poured in, their weapons blazing. The humans and Farallon fought desperately to hold them off, each moment feeling like an eternity. "I'm almost there," Nix said, its voice faltering. "Captain, it's been an honor." The AI's final words hit Erin like a blow, but there was no time to mourn. Nix's sacrifice unleashed a surge of energy, disabling the weapon and causing a cascade of destruction throughout the command ship. "Fall back," Erin shouted. The team raced back to their ship, dodging collapsing structures and enemy fire. The Valiant Horizon detached from the command ship just as it exploded, the shockwave rattling the hull. On the bridge, the crew watched as the Korlak's fleet faltered, their command structure in disarray. The Farallon pressed the advantage, driving the Korlaks into retreat. "We did it," Vega said, her voice filled with awe and exhaustion. Erin slumped into her chair, her body heavy with relief. They had won, but the cost was high. As the Valiant Horizon drifted in the aftermath of the battle, Erin gazed at the stars, her mind racing with thoughts of the future. Humanity had proven its resilience, its ingenuity, and its strength. But the fight wasn't over. "We'll mourn later," she said quietly. "For now, we prepare, because this is just the beginning." The battlefield was quiet now, the wreckage of Korlak ships floating in the void like remnants of a shattered nightmare. The Farallon fleet circled cautiously, their weapons still primed, but the fight was over. Humanity had won a battle that no one believed was possible. On the bridge of the Valiant Horizon, Erin Carter stood amidst the chaos. The crew was battered, some wounded, all exhausted, but their spirits held a flicker of triumph. "Status report," Erin ordered, her voice steady despite the storm inside her. Vega's fingers flew over the controls. "The Korlak's fleet is retreating. Their command structure is broken. The weapon is completely destroyed." She paused, then added softly, "But we lost a lot of good people." Erin nodded, her chest tightening. Bonner's sacrifice, Nix's selflessness, the lives of every crew member who gave everything. They weighed heavy on her shoulders. But their loss wasn't in vain. "This isn't just our victory," Erin said, addressing her crew. "It's humanity's. We've shown the galaxy that we won't be erased, that we won't bow to fear or intimidation. This is for everyone back home, for everyone who believes in what we stand for." Kim leaned against her console, her face pale but determined. "So what now, Captain?" Erin straightened, her gaze fierce. "We send a message, not just to Earth, but to every corner of the galaxy. The Korlaks thought they could silence us. They were wrong." The crew worked quickly, piecing together the ship's damaged communication system. The broadcast would be short, but its impact would echo across the stars. As the camera activated, Erin stood tall, her uniform still scorched from the battle. Her voice was clear, unwavering. "This is Captain Erin Carter of the Valiant Horizon. To all who can hear this, know this. Humanity does not seek war. We do not desire conflict. But we will never bow to fear. We will never surrender to oppression. To those who would seek to destroy us, be warned. Humanity is stronger than you think, and we are here to stay." The message was transmitted across the galaxy, bouncing between star systems and factions. On Earth, it was met with cheers, relief, and a renewed sense of hope. Among other alien species, it sparked debates and whispers of respect for the humans who had defied the odds. But the victory came with a cost. The cracks in the Galactic Pact were now visible, and alliances began to shift. Some saw humanity as a potential ally, while others viewed them as a growing threat. The Korlaks, though beaten, would not remain silent for long. As the Valiant Horizon set course for Earth, the crew sat together in the mess hall, their exhaustion momentarily forgotten. They shared stories, laughter, and memories of those they had lost. Kim raised a makeshift glass. "To Nix," she said, her voice trembling. "To Bonner. And to everyone who gave everything so we could make it back." "To them," the crew echoed, their voices filled with both sorrow and pride. The stars stretched endlessly outside the viewport, a reminder of the vastness of the galaxy and the challenges that still lay ahead. But for now, there was peace, a hard-earned, fleeting peace. In the captain's quarters, Erin sat alone, staring at the star charts. She knew the fight wasn't over. The Korlax would regroup, and new threats would emerge. Humanity had earned a place in the galaxy, but it had also painted a target on its back. Even so, Erin felt a quiet determination. They had faced the impossible and survived. They had proven that humanity's strength wasn't just in its technology or its numbers, but in its spirit, its resilience, and its unwavering belief in a better future. As the valiant horizon approached Earth, the planet glowed like a beacon of hope. Erin allowed herself a small, weary smile. "Let them come," she whispered to herself. "We're ready."